Without a doubt, I used to play shows out of town or I'd play a string of gigs out of state and nothing would go wrong, but it did not make up for the fact that I was not prepared. And you know the old saying, there's nothing to worry about until there's something to worry about. This video is to make sure you don't look like a fool when you go to a gig out of town and you don't have everything that you need. So let's dive right in and gear right up. First, let's start with two basic necessities, which are cash and a phone charger, right? They're very important. Now, I used to go on the road with just a debit card. I would try to pay for everything that way, which works most of the time. But now, because of unfortunate circumstances, I go by the gentleman's rule that $40 needs to remain in my wallet at all times. So $40 at all times. If you're a lady, go ahead and throw it into your purse. Let's say you get to a gig that's a little bit smaller and food and drink is cash only. Or if you want a more practical reason, let's say you're at a gig and you needed a cab to get somewhere, but your phone just died so you can't call an Uber. So you need to have $40 on you. It'll come in handy at one point when you least expect it, I promise. That one probably seems like a big no-brainer to a lot of you, especially if you've been on the road multiple times. But the first time I went out, I was stupid and I forgot to bring cash and a phone charger and it screwed me tremendously. And eventually you got to pay for a phone charger. You know, you go to a gas station, it's like $9. So don't forget it. It's really, really important to have. Let's go on to something that's even a little more practical, but has to do more with your playing. So this is probably like a small bag or a small box, anything you're allowed to bring on the road that has to do with your musical capabilities, but more on the mechanical side of what you do. Again, a pencil bag or a 58 bag or a small shoebox should do the trick for this. Now inside that small bag, you'll want to keep markers, colored electrical tape, earplugs, batteries, business cards, a flashlight, and a small multi-tool set. You can also put in any kind of special pliers or any type of special screwdrivers you may need for your gig inside this bag. Drummers, this would be a great place to keep extra drum keys, extra sets of lugs or gloves if you use them. I know it's tempting to put it all into your stick bag, but those little pockets on the stick bag can get very crammed. I know from years of experience, I've actually blown out stick bags because they've been so crammed with stuff. So this is an extra place to keep all of that, and it keeps your stick bag looking neat and professional, and that way you can just open it up and get ready to play. And while we're on the subject of drummers, go ahead and stick a drum key in every single one of your bags, whether that be small bag, mid-size bag, stick bag, backpack. Whether your car's out on the road, go ahead and put some in there. Believe me, I've been in that situation where you're in a small town in Kansas. There's no Guitar Center for miles around. It's 20 minutes before showtime. You're opening for Josh Abbott and you can't get your hi-hat stand up. That sounds way too real, doesn't it? I don't know if it was a Josh Abbott show, but it was some show. I couldn't get my hi-hat stand up. And maybe it's just me out on the road losing a shitload of keys, but make sure you do it. It really comes in handy. Guitar players, go ahead and throw your extra capo, your extra strings, your extra wire clippers, wire winders, tuners, and pick carriers, everything else that you can fit inside that bag, into that bag as extras. It's easily accessible, it's really small, and it fits into any kind of backpack or mid-size bag. And that brings us right along to the backpack or the mid-size over-the-shoulder bag, whatever you're comfortable with bringing on the road. You really only need 8 essential things in there, which are an extra set of cable or sticks, 2 small towels, a tuner, a notebook, a first aid kit, snacks, water, and a set of extra casual clothes. Now I say 2 small towels because when you're on the road, you can always wash them, but you always want one separate for cleaning and you want separate for wiping sweat off, right? You don't want to wipe your sweat off with a towel that's covered in WD-40 or any type of chrome polisher or anything like that if you're a drummer. So keep those 2 separate. I work at a bar gig. It's a giant honky tonk in Dallas and it gets mighty dusty, so I typically have to wipe down my kit. But you never know when you're on the road. There might be water somewhere. You either need to wipe down an area where you play or, God forbid, eat. Anything like that, it's always a good idea to have them. And yes, the extra sticks inside your bag are important. Drummers, you would be lying if you said you didn't at least lose your stick bag temporarily on the road at one point or another. So keep some extra sticks in your bag just in case something happens. You never know, like somebody knocks over your stick bag, it falls off stage, you can't see it, and you literally have 5 seconds to play. You can pull them right out of your bag on stage and you can keep going. And that's the most important part. The show must go on. While we're on that subject, I've also been out on the road and seen guitar players break their stand or something happens on stage. So guitar players, if you can buy one of those cheap black stands that comes apart in multiple pieces and throw that into your backpack, that's really nice. You can always keep it on stage, just side stage somewhere. If something goes wrong, you can set it up really quick and throw it on there just in case you need to swap. It comes in handy a lot of the time. Now, obviously, I have left out the most important things to bring on the road where if you forgot them, you would probably lose the gig, which are your main instruments, your guitar, your hardware if you're a drummer, your mic if you're a singer. Actually, if you're a singer, they probably got mics at the gig, so you don't need to worry about that. But you want to keep those going. So instead of just listing all those things, because I know you'll remember them anyway, I wanted to be able to give you something that you can take away from the computer so that way you'll never forget those. That's why I have posted links below. Check below this video. That would be great. By the way, while you're at it, hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube with the notification bell. I would really love that. But those links are gig checklists, right? And I have 3 links because I have one for guitarists, one for drummers, and then one for the overall musicians. You don't need it necessarily for tours. You can use it for any gig, so please take advantage of them. Now, I hate wasting paper, but what I personally hate more is wasting ink because it costs more than the fucking printer. So what I recommend is take that little sheet, go ahead and hit the link, print out the sheet and laminate it and get yourself a dry erase marker. So that way, every single time you do it, you can check off those things, you can wipe it off, you can put it in a folder. That way you don't need to take it on the gig. It'll never get lost and you can use the same one over and over. Boom. Also, you'll notice that I left some of those little check boxes blank. I think I left 2 blank in every single category, and that way you can put your own little things that you'd want in there, anything that you feel you bring to every gig or something you need to start bringing to every gig. And that way you can have your own checklist for your own different things and you can personalize them. That way it fits every single type of gig. Let's say you're an acoustic artist and sometimes you play acoustic gigs, and then sometimes you have a full band, so you need to bring extra things like a PA system or whatever it might be. Or you're a guitarist who has to bring an acoustic on this gig and he has to bring his dobro on this gig or whatever it might be. So feel free to personalize any way you want. If you want something special, hit me up and I'd be happy to make it for you. Until next time, this is Matt the Kid. I hope your gig is killer. Let me know where it is and maybe I'll try to come see it. Thanks for watching. Hey, did you like that last video? If you did, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down there. Make sure you hit the notification bell along with it to get all the updates. And I'll also let the little elves and robots at YouTube know that more people want to see content, which would be pretty great.